You know what?
Sammy, they don't really know what they want, and I think we're going to have to listen to you. So what should we do? You're going to start?
Hey, how long does it take to get 2 shots of espresso?
Should I come out there or what? This is where we start. We start right here. It doesn't matter where the camera moves or where it goes or who's it's on or who's looking at what. The question is this. It's one of my favorite questions, and it changes through your entire life. You know, the answers that you have the first time that you have the question is never the same as the answers that you come up with, because you ponder it and it changes. If you could have dinner with 3 people, alive or dead, not necessarily at the same table, but 3 separate dinners with 3 separate people, who would they be, alive or dead? Can we start with you?
Okay. Let's do it.
Now, remember, don't get too crazy with your answers because they change.
I don't know.
Would you want to have dinner with Tino?
Yes.
Okay.
Renee?
First, no.
And
yeah, that's what's called number one, Jesus Christ, hands down, right? You got to sit down with Jesus. You got to, you know, you at least got some questions for him, or at least I do. I mean, that's number 1 on the list.
I may have some answers.
Ooh,
You might be asking me the question.
now.
Like, what have you been up to?
One is Thomas Jefferson. Okay.
Can you talk why?
Okay. Why? Because he was one of the most creative and the most, I guess, democratic, like president. The second one is Einstein. Why Einstein? He was very, very introverted. That's why I like introverted people, because they have more to focus on and to say to you. And so, you know, when they're focused on something like matter, he's going to explain to you what the hell matter is. It's not going to all go into my mind and say, you know, I'm going to say, well, I know what you're saying. No, it's not. It's never going to do that. And but I'm going to get clicks and, you know, just clicks of what he's saying, and understand in my own mind. And that's, you know, that's really what, I guess, that's not what physics is, but that's kind of understanding physics. Okay, you got to start from 1. Okay, and then make it up there to 100, to 1,000, to 1,000,000, to as smart as Einstein. Jefferson had the idea of going out, giving to the people, and letting them have freedom, real freedom. Okay. And it was him and who was it? Adams. That was a very important person that could have brought us to, well, that did bring us to stability in this world. Okay, in this America. I'm not calling it America world, but I'm just calling America the world. Okay. And, you know, there's not a lot of men with disabilities that climb that high. Napoleon, you know, he climbed, he got himself up there.
You see, Napoleon, with this thing in his hand here, he was snorting snuff. Okay, and this was some type of, I'm not sure if it was heroin or poppy or opium or whatever it was.
Opium, maybe.
Now you mentioned that Thomas, Thomas Paine. Here we go. They speak of Thomas Jefferson and John Adams and James Madison, but it was Thomas Paine that was left out as a founding father, who they actually wrote the Constitution. And the Declaration of Independence were basically the words of Thomas Paine. And he was left out because he was an atheist, I think. And his writings are no different than Sigmund Freud when he wrote Future of an Illusion and Civilizations and Its Discontents and Why War. When it was that Thomas Paine and his common sense and his writings on I guess, the dignity of mankind and humans. And I think we have to revisit it, because today we find here in New York where we could get people from all ethnicities and diversity. Find some commonality, some reason to find acceptance of each other, whether they're from an Asian country, like Sammy, or whether they're from Texas, like Renee. I'm not sure where this other guy's from, but we could find out later. But I was born here, and it's nice that people like to come here, where I was lucky to be born. And I think in the future we have to study the past and find out why we could get along and do good things with technology and science and art and the differences that we find in each other that makes us who we are. And that's what we need to appreciate in other people, their differences. Not how she is the same as me, but I have to appreciate that she should be different than me. He should be different than me, and our opinions should be different, and we should respect each other and acknowledge each other for our differences and find inside whoever, whatever goodness and the spark. And you need to find that spark, the thing that makes you who you are, and keep it, and then eventually show it to everybody. Because if it's not something that shines inside you, how could you light the way for everybody else to see?
All right.
Basically, that's what I'm looking for. So you're going to try to just stand the way I am right now. You're going to stand like this.
All right, well, then.
You're going to...
So is everybody. NYU. NYC, sorry. NYC.